Come on, start up. Still waiting for it. The idea that I'm going to do is there's a new animation modifier, and I'm going to make a post talking about all the different settings within the modifier, but I need to go through and change all of the or like demonstrate what each setting does. And I just realized that my database is down, as you can see here, so I need to start that up quick. Whoops. Yeah, right. Well, here that is. Man, I don't have anything started. Is that the wrong one? There we go. I think I need to restart Resolve once that is started, because I think if I click on this, I can only disconnect. So that's weird. There should be like a refresh button to like see if you can connect to it, but I guess you can't. So let's restart. Upgraded to Studio a few days ago, excuse me. That's dope. I need to set this up as a pop-out. There we go. I've completely forgot to do that. All right, so now that I got the database started, now I just got to wait. Okay, so now that we did that, now everything is online. So that's good. All right. Wait, there's an... Uh-oh. I didn't know this. Is there a new update already? Was that announced this morning? Because I did not check my Twitter this morning. Let's see. There's actually something funny that happened. Well, that I learned about Facebook. If you're on the mobile app, it doesn't ever say like that I repost it or like I, what is that called? Shared a post. So people thought that I was, oh yeah, an hour ago. All right, well, there you go. I think you guys can see that, right? Yeah. So I gotta watch what the heck I'm showing here. Anyways, all right. So I guess I'm going to download that quick, and let me share those posts. Excuse me. Right now I'm like super scatterbrained. All right, and let's get the pop-out chat so I can see what you guys are saying too. How are you all doing this? Well, for here, it's 1:20 in the morning, but wherever everyone else is. All right, so let's see. DaVinci Resolve Beta 6 now available. Okay, let's reshare that tweet. And I guess I can go over what the update actually was too while I'm at it. Because this is new to me. I didn't know that they were 219. 219. Oh, I'm guessing in the afternoon. So I'm not sure what would be 2 in the morning. Because I know, like, what's Canada? They have, like, Newfoundland, and that's like a half an hour. But I think that's the furthest east that you can go. AM, where are you? Oh, you probably don't have daylight savings, huh? I guess that could be it. All right, so gotcha. All right, so I guess now I have to close all of this and reinstall. Let's go extract all. Is that the right folder? I think so. If you didn't know and you guys are just tuning in, I just learned a couple of minutes ago that a new version of DaVinci Resolve was just announced an hour ago. So I'm just quickly downloading that, and then we'll get into playing around with some of the new tools. All right, so beta 6 is what it is. So let me share this quick. And we'll also take a look at what the updates were. All right, so share to page. And right now in the background, I'm just actually installing it. So I'm in Eastern. So right now it is 1:22 in the morning. Or Eastern Standard, yeah. Hopefully this goes really quick while we're sitting here so that I can jump right into I wonder if anyone else reported. I recently found a bug with one of the blurs in Fusion, and it's really weird because it would just make my my graphics card go to 100%. The rest of my system wouldn't be using any resources, but DaVinci Resolve wouldn't respond at all, and it was something that I could do, continuously. I could keep repeating the issue. So I didn't get around to reporting it yet, but yeah. All right, so what is going on right now? Install. All right, so I just need to share it to the group quick. I don't know why, but recently I've been getting a lot of a larger, how do you word that? A larger amount of people each day joining the Facebook group, which is kind of bizarre. Every time I jump on, there's like another 30 people, 40 people that want to join the group, which I guess is a good thing, but it just kind of came out of nowhere that a bunch of people started wanting to join. All right. So now I shared that. What's still installing? Behind me, you think it's a green screen? No, I don't have anything I can throw. Definitely not a green screen. changelog. Yeah, give me 1 sec, because I'm actually going to go through it too. Let's see if we can get to it. All right, so I just finished installing. All right, and my database is up. I don't know why that was down, but maybe it ran a backup and then never restarted after that. But let's see here, support and DaVinci Resolve, and their website's going a little slower than normal. Maybe everyone's downloading it right now. Beta 6. Documents, save. Give me 1 sec. We're going to look at the change log here. Hopefully there actually is stuff in here, because sometimes the way that they show it, there isn't. Because it just talks about, yeah, see, I hate when they do this. It just says, oh, actually, you know what? I know where we can go to get it. Never mind. This isn't going, yeah, this is just going to show, this is just another version of, or another copy of. All right, so we can go into here. Now, if we go into DaVinci Resolve, and then we look at, what is 17.1? 17 and 17.1. The fuck is 17.1? Oh, that's interesting. So the Apple M1 is the 0.1. The 0.1 is if you have the new Apple. So whatever. So here is our change log. Long startup time. I wonder if they mean audio plugins like VSTs. Because I actually, a long time ago, I removed all of the VSTs because it did take quite a while for it to boot up. I don't really see anything that it's like make or break issues. It just seems like little visual things. Performance, subtitles, I don't even use those. HDR, don't really do much with it. Actually, I do nothing with HDR, to be honest. Scaling issues, Sony RAW clips. All right. There was one thing with the well, it's not labels, it's markers in Fusion that I don't like. Because you can put markers on the timeline and you can also put markers on clips. And I forget when I was testing it, you couldn't see one of those two. So it was either you couldn't see the ones on the clips or you couldn't see the ones on the timeline. All right. So now let me start it up quick. I did not know that the M1 DaVinci Resolve .1 is for the Mac stuff, but that's kind of interesting. M1. Did anyone actually get those things? This weekend, I also got an interesting email, which is kind of alarming to me. I guess someone previously purchased like templates, and they were saying that they couldn't install the templates from this other person and they were complaining to me about it, and they were asking how do I install templates, and then I told them that because I have so many templates on my website and it's over the course of so many different versions of DaVinci Resolve that each install is slightly different. And they got really aggravated with me, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. So there's other people that are doing similar things to me, but are making people have a bad taste in their mouth. Great. All right. So what I wanted to do today is I am going to, one of the things that I can also show you guys is there's nothing on my timeline, right? This was one of the new things that they added into 17. There's nothing on my timeline. And before, if you've followed any of my previous videos on using Fusion, you would have to make a Fusion comp and then place it on the timeline. Now you don't. I can just go in and set my frame rate resolution, right? And then I can go right into Fusion. And once I add something onto the timeline, it automatically adds the Fusion comp on here. So it just takes out some like extra steps, which is pretty cool. So just thought I would share that. It was like one little thing. So what I want to show here is there is a new I don't know how, well, we'll figure this out as we go along. There is a new modifier, and I just want to show all the different settings within the modifier and how it works. So what would be the easiest way to set this up so that I can show this off? Well, how many are actually in the modifier? We should probably start with that. All right, so I'm going to leave that, and then we'll just do a transform, and then in here we'll come in and actually no, we are just going to make it, well, I guess you guys can't see this, but we're just going to make a new one called T, and we'll just keep it on the controls, right? So we'll put it on controls and we'll make it into a slider. So the new modifier here is the animation curve, right? And this does a bunch of really cool things, but one of the things that it does that's pretty cool is the curve, right? We can add in easing automatically, and this is just a bunch of easing profiles, right? Or we can make a custom curve where we can add in our easing like that. This just is the value changing over time, right? So this is the value over time. So this side is 0, this side is 1. And then you can set that time whatever you want with the source. So you could come in and you could have it the duration of the clip. I don't actually know what the difference between these two are. I should probably figure that out. Or you can do custom, and that's where you can set like where it starts and where it stops. And then it'll play the, how would I word all this stuff? I need to think about that, I guess. We would set like this profile for the easing, I guess is the best way to put it. But man, I probably should have thought of like the proper wording to use for this. But so let's go in and we'll just start it at 5 frames, sure. And let's go to, actually let's do 1 whole second. So we'll just go to 0, remove that, and then come up to 1, turn this into a 1, right? And so the cool thing is now I have this, but if we watch this, actually, you know what? I think it's still linear. All right, so if we add in, this is probably the easiest to see, like a bounce, right? So all we're just looking at is this value currently. So by the time it goes from 0 to 30, we're going to see that. So if we just watch it, we can see it bounces, right? So I'm going to just add it on in here, right? So we'll just add, we'll make this like 0.7. And then what we're going to do is we're going to times that by this value. And so if we watch this, we will see it'll have like this bounce, right? So the other thing that I want to do is I need to set this parameter to go from 0 to 1, so we can see like some type of an like arc, I guess. So let me just make another one. I'm just doing this so it makes it easier down the road a bit, but we'll just go in here, and we will times this. Sure. 0 to 1. Oops. And now, I wonder what this would look like. Let's see. There we go. That is exactly what I wanted to show. But we need the sample rate to be a lot more. Reset. Pre-roll frames, don't care about that. Blur size, what the hell does that do? Oh, you know what? I could probably come into here and turn this up too, so I can demonstrate. Right, so we can see that, but obviously this is, I guess it's okay. I mean, we're kind of showing off this. But I needed to sample more. How do you get this to sample more? I don't know if you can. This time only? What the fuck's that mean? Oh, this, yeah, one time. Okay, cool. What does blur do? Oh gosh, okay, that doesn't do what I wanted. Oh, now it stays blurred? Interesting. Pre-roll frames. Okay. So we just do this over a longer period of time, so it like looks a bit cleaner, I guess, right? So if I go into here and we come back over to here, we can make this a 1. Come back into here, and then we turn this. Turn this into a 1, right? And then come back to here and remove that. Reset. Okay. So now, if I do all of that, I copy this, I paste this, I put this down here, so I can show the difference between these two, right? And we look at this, and then we take, let's switch those, and then we're gonna go another transform up here, and let's do like, just for now, all right, so we'll put this one here, 25.25, 0.75, 0.25. There we go. Oh shit. We almost had it, right? I need to go over into here and change this to something else. So we'll just do that. All right. I don't know what to call this. What is this called? All right. Sure. Okay. So is there a new way that I can get that? So now if we look at this, we have the same values, but they both interact differently by just using this little modifier. So now that I showed that off, I think these also need to have a text. And can I do this? Can I come into here, grab that, put this on here? Grab this, grab here, come up to here. Ooh, can I go in there? No. What is that referred to as? Ease in, ease out. Okay, well then, so I just need something so I can learn what this is called. What is that? All right, so can I go into here and say that, but also grab that? Yeah, copy, dang it. Come in here and go like that. What do I get? Okay, that's not what I want. Shit, how would you do that? All right. Well, I guess I'll have to put those in manually. I can't think of how to. There is probably a way, but I can't think how it is. All right. So I'll remove that. Show that sucks. I have to go into each one and say, okay, this one is this. This one's that. Let's remove that. All right. So. And then I have to, well, I guess we can use some of the shape stuff, right? Rectangle and grid, S-grid, and S-render. Okay. We can go like that. Make this a lot thinner. Oh gosh, what happened? We need another one of these. That one's gotta go like that. Sure. Grid. More. Why does that look so horrible? Oh, spacing, that's why. Alright. And 10. So there's probably a way to do this in math, but I can't think of it, so we're just going to do it by eye. It doesn't need to be super perfect. Alright, so there is our grid. It looks great. Just going to make it a little smaller. Alright. So now we take all of this and you know what? I can turn this into a whole nother tutorial then later, because I can show how to make the, I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of the, like, I think it's called like Real Engineering, a YouTube channel. He makes like, I don't even know what that paper's called. Like if you would ever think of like a blueprint and like they have grid paper, he uses that a lot. And I guess I could show how to make that because I kind of made it here already. You would just probably put like a background that probably looks like that. Put this on here, go like that, and that is way too bright. So we'll drop that down and yeah, something like that. All right. And then we can put this here. Sure. All right, what are we looking at so far? Ew. Oh. This isn't going to go all the way across, right? Shit, why don't I see anything? Because I got to flip them. All right, so it's not going all the way across, and that's because in here, we have to times it by 1 and by 1. Come in here, and we'll reset, come back, and now it'll go across the whole thing. For the course of the whole animation. There we are. All right. So we can take all of this, or I guess all of this, right? We back it way over here. And in here we put grid 1, right? Because then all we need to do is a wireless link that is grid 1. And then you just connect that into here. And look at that. You have the same thing again right there, right? All right. And then in here, we just need to make this a 1 and a 1. So much work to just demonstrate how this works, huh? I don't know how I feel about this trail thing, although I don't need multiple trails. I can get rid of that and just throw the trail right here. Right? And then I only ever have to do it once. Oh. What did I do here? What's wrong? Where did I mess up? 1, 1, yeah, great. All right, we need different colors. Oh. There we are. Why don't we see trails? Oh man, what did I do? Shouldn't we have seen trails? I don't know. Does that really need to be here? Am I not understanding how the trail node works? Oops. Does it need an alpha to be able to build a trail? Guess it sure does. Look at that. All right, well, that whole idea didn't work out so well. All right. Oh boy, what did I do now? We need to reset that. There we are. Without quotation marks? For the when I was pulling this information? Shit, I don't remember what everything was. Do I have it pasted? Nope, I sure don't. Without quotation marks. Okay. What was I even doing? It's like grabbing this, right? And like grabbing that. Alright. We come over to here, put that in there, but then we grab this as well. And then we put it all in here. I'm not entirely sure. Yes, we are live. How many are there, though, to be honest with you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of them. I have to make 10 of these windows? It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so font works. How you were talking about. But that doesn't work. Is there something else I'm missing here? Animation curve 1. Right, animation curve 1. It can't be. This can't be it. That can't be it. No. I don't know. Maybe you just can't do it that far in. I'm curious. Do 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 do. No. All right, so what would be the easiest way to do this? If you do 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 10, 5. You can't do 5 across. How the heck would you do 10 windows in one? Because you could do 9, 3, 3, 3, 6, yeah, 9. But how do you get a 10th one in there? Maybe we just do them all on one instead of making them all small. So instead of making them all small, what if we were to just do one big, get this shit out of here. Reset, but come into here and we will go sure the whole length and we'll make that a 1. We'll make that a 1. Come back and delete that. Alright. So what does this look like? And I just crashed. I think we just crashed. Dang it. Ooh. Well, guess it's a quick restart. At least I was saving throughout that. Yeah, I think that was just because of, I think that crash was from the trails or something. I don't know. Because for some reason, I don't know if you've seen right at the end, the text plus node was red. And I don't know, because the text plus node, it crashed because the text node plus text, yeah, text plus node was still trying to read that parameter that didn't exist. That's what was happening. And then I was playing it. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what it was. It's okay. All right. So I'm all the way back to here. I guess I didn't save very far, and it's okay. So we do another one in here for T2, control slide, sure. And we start at 0, and then at the other end is a 1. Actually, no, let's bring it back a little bit. Let's do 120. Make a 1 there. Close that. Come over to here. Turn this into a 1. Take the other 1 out. And then we will turn this to a 1 and a 1. And then this is going to be the position. And this is going to be the location. All right, well. Is all okay. We'll get this all fixed. What color do I want to use? I'm not a huge fan of how you color stuff with these, I don't even know what to call it, the shape nodes. I mean, I guess it works, but I don't know. All right. That on there. Looking good. So now we play with the spacing. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to change this to 1080. So now we get perfect squares. Actually, no, we're going to go the other way. Wait, why doesn't this look like perfect squares? Okay, so we need to... There we go, perfect squares. Look at that. Looks amazing. Fit. All right, there aren't many squares here though. Maybe making them perfect squares is a bad idea. Maybe just keeping it where it was better. All right, we're gonna go back to how it was. There we are. All right, so now we have that. Now we have our grid. And we can put our grid into all of this. But what I think I'm going to do is, I don't think we're going to have this for now. Well, we're going to have it, but we're just not going to have it connected. And we're going to look at that. This is the whole right? Perfect. Let's see. I also got an issue. I can't jump to keyframes. I don't know what you mean by jump to keyframes. Like how I was jumping back and forth with keyframes? Like with the left and right? Or do you mean being able to view keyframes? Like where I was in here and you could jump to keyframes like that? Is that what you mean you can't do? You might not have the right keyframes. I don't know. Or you might not have like keyframes actually here. You can also look at keyframes in the keyframe editor, right? Go into here, and here we can see where our keyframes are and how they're progressing over time. But I typically use the spline. And then we can see our keyframes in here as well. There's a glow node. All glow really is you're just blurring. But if you want the glow to be affected by other things, there's like, or if you want the glow to affect other things, then there's kind of like trickery ways of doing it. I want the light to have the fog glow. What light? Like, is it a real light or like a fake light? There's a couple of different ways that you can do it using like luminance and making a mask, a matte with the brightness values. So you're doing a fake light. So however you're doing the fake light, just use that mask to illuminate a fog layer, or if you're bringing in like actual like a video of fog, just use that, whatever that mask is that you're using to illuminate the fog, so that only the fog is visible in that little area, and then tint the fog to whatever your light color is. All right, so we have everything that we pretty much need at this point. What I think I'm going to do is make the box smaller that it's bouncing in, and then also have a color for each of the settings in here for the easing. Have a color for each one and display them both, I think, is the best way to do that. Or maybe not showing all of them, because some of them are very similar unless you do them over a long period of time. Right, so if I just do the same thing, then all you have to do is just come in and change. I guess I have to change color too, right? That kind of shows it off, right? I think the trails really helped show it. Right. I I think that kind of should. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. All right. And then we take this and add it to that, so then you can see your grid. And then we take this, go like that, bring this over. All right. And then we can make this like 0.8 and bring it over here. And then we would have that. And we don't actually need all of these. We can have this all just driven by 1. So then we can simply just turn this down to like a 0.1. Come into here, reset. And then there we go. Now we can see how they all change. All right, and then after we do all of that, then we can do a text plus node. Actually do a couple of these. Oops. I'm new to Resolve. Do you find doing motion graphics in Resolve easy as After Effects? It really depends on what type of motion graphics you're doing, to be honest with you. After Effects has a lot of tools that make some aspects of motion graphics easier to accomplish in a shorter period of time. But I feel like you can do it. You can do just about anything in both of them. There's just some tools in After Effects that does make it slightly easier because there is a large group of people doing motion graphics in After Effects for so long. But now that they've added Fusion into DaVinci Resolve, you're starting to see a lot more editors that want to have motion graphics in their projects, starting to play with the Fusion toolset. And doing so, you're getting a lot more people requesting things to be added into the Fusion toolset. So I think over time, we will definitely see at some point, things that are equivalently I don't know how to word that. That will be that will be very similar in time it takes to create something. But there are some things that Fusion is lacking behind, because Fusion, for most of the workflow that went through Fusion, it was straight compositing stuff. It wasn't a ton of motion graphics. So a lot of their tools are based around specifically just doing compositing work. But hopefully we'll see a lot of that stuff change. Because this is going to be I think it's the third release of, large release of DaVinci Resolve that has had Fusion in it. I think it's the third one. So each time they're just adding more and more tools. So I think things will change soon. All right, so that's kind of showing the time. But they're both how would we explain the input value? Because the input value for all of these is identical, but it's the easing profile that is different. Maybe show current value or something. I don't know. I think this is going to be a little too specific and go over people's heads. But maybe it won't. All right, so let's take both of these, remove that expression, pick whip into here, and grab. All right, we're just gonna grab T2, even though it's not really the same driver. They're both the same, over the same amount. I don't think this is going to be displayed very well. Okay, let's first do that. So if we were just to do transform T1, T2, what? Is that not how you do that? Oh, Jesus. All right, but then if we do times 100, divide by 100. Ha! There we go. Much cleaner. All right. That number was way too long before. All right, so now that we have both of these, current input. I don't even know. All right, let's make this look a little cooler. All right, so now when we do that, and you go fit, and where is it? Trails, come back, clear. So we're plotting it. So I think that works to show how this works. All right. And then over here, I just need to make a little thing showing each one of these curve profiles or whatever. Why would you need an RTX card for DaVinci Resolve 17? In a description, I have the system that I'm currently streaming on and running this. There is no ray tracing in Fusion currently. Yeah, I would make sure that you have at least a minimum system requirements, and that you, if you do have, because you're talking about RTX cards, so I'm guessing you have an NVIDIA system, I would also get the studio version of the drivers if you have an NVIDIA card. So if we go to NVIDIA drivers, download drivers. So when you come into here, oh, this looks different than before. Why does this look so different? Hold on a second. Why does that look so different? Download? Why does that look different than what I'm used to seeing for drivers? Click here, scan was not complete. Okay, I don't want you to scan my system. Official drivers. Drivers. Download driver. What the fuck is this? Okay. It looks like they have 150 different websites, but this is one of them. And then download type. You want to get the studio drivers and not the game ready drivers. Studio drivers are specifically made for any type of video production software. And they actually partnered up with a bunch of different companies to make sure that like those drivers work really well in NVIDIA. So yeah, I would on the hold on a second. Here. And this is the, I don't know why they have this, but this is DaVinci Resolve 17. And if you scroll all the way down, it talks about system requirements, depending on what kind of system you have. And you just want to at least make sure that you're very close to this. DaVinci Resolve will run on just about any hardware, but you want to try to get as close as you can to this stuff here. Yeah. So if you're just crashing instantly, one of the other things that you could do is you could go to when you come over to their site in here, and let's say you wanted to get, oh gosh, what is this? Come into support, DaVinci Resolve. And so if, let's say you just downloaded DaVinci Resolve 17, public beta, whatever, it doesn't work, you could simply just scroll down here until we get into, I think it's 16.31. I think is the last big release of 16. last stable release. Okay, I'm way off. 16.2.7. That's September. Is there a newer one? Okay, yeah, that's the last one. Don't get this beta. That was for something completely different. When they launched their new camera, the 12K camera. But here, so DaVinci Resolve 16.2.7, I would download and install this if you're currently crashing and you have the most up-to-date drivers and everything. Download this, give this a try. If that doesn't work, then you can work your way back even further to, well, not 14, but I would go back to like 15. But pretty much just saying like they have all the different versions in here that you could go back to really old versions. I wonder how far back this goes. DaVinci Resolve 10.1.5. Interesting. What are the requirements for this? Well, bet you there aren't a lot of features in that version. Because I bet you all it does is color. Because back then they didn't even have an edit page. So I wouldn't go that far back. Okay. Where in the world is my chat? Here we are. Alrighty. So now I just need to make all the different color versions. Alright, so we got those. This can be changed to that, and then this can be changed to that. What does back do? I don't even know what back means. Let's see how this looks. Come back. Go. Okay, so that just shot. What the hell? All right, so I learned something else. I need to make my one like here or here. So, I mean, it looks cool, right? But what I now need to do, this is annoying. Okay, so actually, you know what I can do? Instead of that, I can go center and then just grab this name. And then that would make things even easier. So you just do point center. No, wait. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Because I need to pull from the actual project. Yeah, anyways, that wouldn't work. All right, let's come back. Let's see how this looks now. There we go. Look at that. Okay, we're like bouncing off something in here though. Looks kind of cool. All right, so maybe 0.8. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a custom tool, and we're gonna say custom tool. I'm gonna take this dot number in custom tool dot number in 1 and copy that and paste that. All right, and then number in 1, we'll make this 0.8. And now let's see how this looks. All right, now it's going off of that line there. So sure. All right, so now we take a 0 and a 1, 0 and 1. Okay, but we need to change these colors. What colors did we go? Sure. All right. I think that kind of shows off how that works. Yeah, I don't know what access denied means. I mean, you should be able to download all that stuff. That's a little weird. Okay, so we have the out. Well, let's change the color of these as well. What color am I gonna do this now? Okay. It looks a little dark. Okay. Time and output. All right, so I'm gonna just push this into here. Oh gosh, that doesn't work how I wanted it to. All right, this isn't gonna work how I wanted to either. I just don't think I'm gonna have enough space. Ah, I can just put it right here. There's a ton of space right here. So, I'll show you guys something else that's kind of cool for people that don't know about it. If I go to text plus tool, and then I bring it in, I don't remember what all of these things were that I actually used. All right, I am going to, hold on 1 second. Let's open a notepad quick. So this is bounce is the first one. What is the next one? Second one is the sine wave. Next one, expo. Next one is back. And then the final one is elastic. All right, I'm gonna take all of that, put that in here, right? All right, let's go back. All right, so now we have all of that in there. Right? Now if we look at it, I just have to figure out what the colors are, but let's first go like that, and then we can bring this line spacing in a bit. Let's actually change this font. All right, we'll bring it down here, and we can come in here and go character level styling, right? And then we can say, okay, bounce. Can I zoom in on this? Cool. Bounce is that color. Right? So we got the bounce. And then I know that the back, so we'll highlight back, is this color. Right? I think. And then I think this sine wave, I could be wrong, but we'll double check. I think the sine wave is that one. Expo, I think, is that one. And then elastic is whatever I don't have already. No, wait, that can't be. That can't be. This is definitely not elastic. All right, I think this is actually elastic. And that's probably that. Let's see how right or wrong I was. All right. So the first one, bounce, is K. Next one, sine. No. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to pull whatever my current sine is. So it'll be that. Okay. Next one. Expo. Expo is going to be that color. Next one's back. That's going to be that color. And then the final one, I was so wrong on all of these. All right, so now that we did that, we can come back to the beginning. We'll reset it. Go like that and go boom. Hello, how are you? Right now I am trying to set up something for a tutorial showing off the new profiles for a new modifier, which allows you to easily add in easing using, this is all just different math against whatever your current input is. Yeah. So, no, wait. I feel like that this back, okay, what color's back? So that's back, okay, well, whatever. If it's saying that, I don't think it pulled the right color. All right. There we go, that's a little bit brighter. but I'm just showing the differences in some of it. And then I also have to make a couple of other things to demonstrate a couple of other things that demonstrate all of the other tools in this new modifier that was added into 17. And these two, is this the 0 and the 1? Yeah, we're going to rotate. Wait, is that not the right way to do that? Let's stop for a second. Isn't that how you would rotate that? Why does that look so weird? Okay, I was right. But why does it look like that? Why isn't it just rotating it right on the... There we are, that's what I wanted to do. Okay. Maybe like a 45 instead, actually. I feel like that looks cooler. Sure. All right, I think that is good enough to demonstrate how this works. At least this one aspect of it. I found the studio drivers on the GeForce. All right. Oh, I guess that's good enough to explain how that works. Now, let's... Oh. All right, the next thing that I need to show off in where did I put that? I don't know what the heck just happened. Did I actually create it? I sure did, but it's not in the right control. Controls? All right. Oh, I never. There we are. All right, what are the other things to show off in here? Scaling, I think, is pretty easy. Time. How would we explain stuff? All right, so scaling. Actually, you know what? I'm not entirely sure what the difference between scaling and time scale is. No, wait, does this increase the value? That might increase the value, actually. Here, let's change this to a 2, and let's go into a custom and 0, 1. Now, if this changes the scaling, it's going to double the, what the hell? It's going to double the output value, and it does. Okay, so that scaling is stating the output, how you scale the output. Yeah, because I can turn this into like a 10, and it's going to scale it by 10. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then the other one is just time-based. Okay. Now here is another question. Can I turn this into a 10? Okay, so you can. So why would, I mean, all right. Now, scaling offset. So does this just automatically add that amount? Okay, so it does. All right. So it's just like time offset then. But it just offsets everything. So I can put in here like a 2, and then at 0, it should be a 2, right? Yeah. All right. That makes sense. What the hell is clip low and clip high, though? Clip low. What is that? Clip low. Clip high. Clip low, clip high. So if I make this negative, what happens? But if I turn this off, so what the fuck does clip low mean? Let's go see. Ensures the output. Okay. So if I clip high, no wait, that doesn't make any sense. What the fuck? Wait a second. Let's turn that off because that's making things difficult to understand. So if I clip high, okay, so clip high is always gonna, but if you set an offset, what the hell? Oh, geez. So that pretty much just means that it's going to only ever introduce, no wait, oh yeah, because I have this all changed, yeah. So it's only ever going to add an additional 1. So clip low, clip high has nothing to do with offset, because you could also have offset run off of something else. All right, so yeah. Has anyone in here used any of these, the new animation curves stuff? So here is another question. If you do invert, oh, so what the fuck is the difference between invert and mirror? What does mirror do? Back to the PDF. Plays animation forward, and then after reaching the end, it returns to the starting value. That causes it. Curve upside down. Okay. I don't think I would ever use that, to be honest, but I guess mirror is an easy way of dynamically backing off an animation after creating the initial length of an animation or something. All right. Well, I mean, I can kind of simply explain how those work. And then custom is another very easy. You know what I should do actually? I'm going to copy all of this, bring it into here, and show what a custom is as well by getting rid of all of this crap. All right. Is this broken yet? Okay, it still kind of works. All right, so we could go in here, and instead of having, oh no, we want to keep that, right? We want to keep the input, but then instead of the easing, so we could get rid of all of this crap because we don't need that. Instead of the easing, we could simply go into custom. Is there an easy way to reset this? Do I just grab and delete? Okay, well, I completely screwed that up. All right, so instead of, we obviously know how that works, right? So if we bring it back and then we say, okay, well, we want it to go like this over this duration of time, and then you can easily come in and make it go like that, and then say, okay, this is my new curve. It'll just simply just copy whatever this is over the length of whatever. So you could have this go over, 2 minutes, and it'll do that same exact curve every time over the 2 minutes or over 2 seconds. All right. Perfect. You can definitely make anything. I feel like you can make just about anything. It's just how long it takes you to understand the tools and the tools that you have available. How effective are you with those tools? So I think that most, well, I don't want to say most, but a lot of, I don't know where I'm going with that. I think you can make a good amount of animations from Fusion for sure. Like, let me just show you some stuff. Give me 1 second. So that's the new thing. I'm kind of like in the process of working on the tutorial for that. Actually, you know what? I can show you in here. Actually, hold on. Visual Studio. Give me 1 second, and I'll show you like a couple of things that I am currently in the process of work. Well, last week I was working on, and I took a little break, but I don't know what is going on right now. Haha, that's what's going on. Okay. So I'm going to, let's go into here. Let's make a new comp, right? And I'll bring this in, and actually give me 1 second. I need to go grab some footage of something. Just anything. Come on. All right, what does this look like? Okay. All right, so I just have, actually, hold on. That's kind of like shitty footage. That's not gonna work. Well, it would work, but it's just not gonna look as good. Let's go into here. Let's go get some stock. Okay. Here we are. All right, so we'll bring in this footage, right? How big is this? Okay, this is like big as shit. We gotta resize this quick. Now, the only reason why I'm resizing this is because I'm going to be using these not how they're intended to be used, but you'll at least get the idea here. All right, so you could simply go into, here's a perfect example. Well, this isn't motion graphics really, but just some of the stuff that I've been kind of like in the process of working on. Okay, so where are my controls? They shouldn't be here, but like these different things that you could do in After Effects that you can also do in Fusion if you take a little bit of time to think about it. Actually, here, let me show you something that's more okay. I spelled something wrong. There we are. So like stupid, like little effects like this, where everything is kind of wiggling around. It's not things. If you take a little bit of time and learn the tools, you can do like all sorts of pretty cool effects. Where would you use this? This is kind of stuff that I've been like requested to make for like music videos and that kind of thing. Having both of these might be screwing something up. There we go. So that's just like edge stuff, not like super crazy. And then when you get into like really old school, like effects that people used to do, stuff like this, like a never-ending tunnel for like a retro kind of a thing for like a shot in a music video. This is the same sort of thing, just like a little bit different, and there's a couple of different like parameters and stuff like that. And then there was like a lot of this was, oh god, that one's not even done correctly. Hold on a second. And then this is something that would be like more in, if you've ever seen like those promo videos where there's like a, I don't know, you'll see in the video that I make where it's like a boxing thing. It doesn't really, like by itself, it doesn't really make much sense until you start to layer all these different effects on top of each other, when it actually starts to make more sense on how they actually work. But yeah, so I think that you can definitely make a lot of stuff that is, that you see the ability to do in After Effects, you can do in Fusion as well. That's for sure. Just takes a little bit to wrap your head around it. And all of the like little tools and stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of like where I've been putting a good amount of time into. And I have like a couple of other things, but they don't really make sense to like show here because it won't really like this. Okay, well that didn't come in correctly. Because these manipulate elements and not like whole clips. So it would be better if you did like pipe this into here and then pipe this into here and pipe this over to here. Like where any text or whatever you have, simply just everything starts to move, and it's like a, without showing you full screen, if I come over here, I guess I would show it, right? Full screen. Wait, is this going out? Why is that going out to immediate too? That's not what I want. I need to copy this over to here. Put this into here. And then you could simply do this on like a bunch of different elements. Hello? But yeah, so I think like there's definitely a lot of stuff that you can do. You just have to put a little time into learning the different nodes and what they do. So when you drop a new node that unconnected, hold shift and drag it over the area you want to insert that. My specs should be in the description of this video, I think, or like in the stream. You should be able to see the specs of my current system. I'm looking to upgrade at some point, but right now it seems like you can't buy any computer parts because all the new stuff is sold. So I wanted to get like a new Ryzen CPU. You can't buy them anywhere. And all the new GPUs that are made by NVIDIA and AMD, you can't buy any of them. They're all sold out. So I'm going to be waiting for a little bit. And that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I don't really need it. It'd be nice to have. But yeah. All right, so this is going to be just showing how the new modifier works using a custom curve and explaining that this, I guess afterwards, then I can show. How would I could just simply go, oh gosh, now I got the wrong thing copied. I could go like this. I could take all that, bring it in, connect it, and then instead of having it go between these two areas, right? So 120, so 60 is right in the middle. I could go a 1 and then back to 0. And then let's quickly change the color of this. Sure. Come back to here, hit reset. Now if we watch them, they're going to be doing the same exact thing. It's just one's going to go a little bit faster, as you can see. And then it's going to go backwards in the animation over the same amount of time. Right? Time. Output. Current. Oh. But then what I would have to do is I have a current input. I would have to show the other current input for the green line. Yeah. Okay. I'm just thinking of like how I'm going to do this tutorial. All I really wanted to do during this stream is build out this because I had like this as an idea and I wanted to build this out. But now that I did, I'm kind of happy. I think it turned out as a good way to explain the different things. Well, this really isn't that many nodes. So I guess maybe one of the videos that I need to explain to people is you can build node trees efficiently, and you can build node trees that are very inefficient. And when people watch me on like YouTube and stuff, when I'm making stuff like on stream, like live, I might not build the most efficient node trees, just because you're thinking of ideas and you're just kind of like, putting things together. But then as you start to build more, you then, you know, get a little bit better with making things efficient. Because what you can do is I'm going to have to make a whole video on how to explain this. But the idea here is that when each node is playing, it does something which is called, it makes a DOD. So if I come into region and I go show DOD, this is all of the pixels that are being processed right now, right? So when I play just this, that is the only thing that is going to get processed in memory on my GPU. And as it goes on, we can see, you know, as this is moving, it's still the same DOD, but it's having a different location, right? So it's still the same size of pixels, but it's just changing its location. So the amount of pixels that we're tracking and color data is significantly small. And then as you add things on, you can see as I'm doing this, right, the DOD is getting bigger. And yes, there's empty space in here, but let me show you something that would make this super inefficient. If I do a background, and let's say I just make this, you know, see-through, right? So, and I do a merge. So let's say I had this as the background, and then I had this come in, and then I had this go into here. Now watch this DOD. The DOD is this whole screen, right? So now all of this is being cached in my memory, and it's constant, like, so now when I look at all of this whole thing, because you can see the ant trail that's going around, that is the whole thing. So now everything it's inefficient. Even though we're looking at the same thing, it's just very inefficient. But typically, most projects, unless you're doing compositing, you truly don't have to worry about DOD. But I'm just trying to give you an idea of how you can make things inefficient versus efficient. Because typically, when you got to start being concerned with DOD, you have hundreds and hundreds of different nodes doing different things. You know, when you start to get into like projects that have multiple passes for multiple characters, so you know, if you have like some type of CG thing, one character might have 10 passes, right? And then you're manipulating each pass to get them to look the best, but then there might be 6 characters in the scene, so you automatically just in content have 60 nodes, right? And then each one of those passes you might affect in some way, shape, or form. So then each one of those add more and more processing, and that gets passed. Each node, one of the things it does is it does a quick lookup for DOD, and you can set manual DOD with, like, I think it's just set DOD. Yeah, set DOD. You can do that, and that's what that node's for. But nodes automatically just look up what the DOD is, so it knows the amount of stuff that you have to review. You can also set up your I forget what it's actually called in Fusion, but it's like you can set up the amount that you want to render when you're doing a preview, almost like not a viewport, but yeah, I can't think of what it's called because I haven't really done that stuff in a long time. But there are ways to make projects efficient versus inefficient. But most of the stuff that's on my channel is so small that you shouldn't really have many issues when it comes to, you know, your system really lagging a lot. But you can easily set yourself up where you have like a lot of things. So yeah, I guess the easiest way to put this, like what one person might do is they might say, okay, I want to see what, you know, this circle looks like on here, right? So you might come out of here and connect like this, and then you have your dot and you have your video, right? So you can see my DOD gets really big, and then I can pass that down and I can start to add things on top, right? So I could add this then on top of everything. So now I can see both of the balls right here, right? But the efficient way to do this would be to get everything to go through and then add on this large video layer towards the end, because then that gets processed, you know, significantly later, because it doesn't interact with anything that is currently on the screen when we're just looking at these, little dots. This as just an example. But yeah, so maybe I should do a video on that. But I feel like with a lot of people that watch my content are typically just jumping into using Fusion, I think that information is a little too much information. Like you're giving someone too much information, and they just need to just create and not really be concerned about like, oh, is my node tree it's set up in such a way where it's most efficient to do processing, because I feel like a lot of people spend more time on being concerned with that than creating good stuff. Because I think it might add like an extra 1 or 2 minutes onto your render time. And it's not that big of a deal, to be honest, with most projects, at least, that are on my channel. And I don't really want to be held up to that as well. Like, oh, you could have did it more efficiently by doing this and that. It's more about just teaching the tools and stuff than being so concerned with that. It's like I watch a couple of streamers that do coding live, and it gets really salty in the chat where people are like, oh, you could have did this more efficiently. You could have did that. I don't know. I don't really want to. I just want people to create stuff and, I don't know, produce really cool stuff, and then being so concerned with that other crap. I don't know what side-by-side configurations incorrect even means. I would go to the Black Magic forums and look on there. I have no idea. I'm sorry about that. And another thing that people can do too is they can do things. Now, in this instance, it's not that big of a deal, but they could do things to make things easier for them. So like initially I started with just this little line here, right, to make this one dot. And then all I did is I copy and pasted this, right? So I would copy and paste this a bunch of times, right? But the only thing that changed was the color and the position, right? The actual size of the dot never changed. So you could, obviously this isn't going to do much, but this is kind of like what I'm saying, where you can make things efficient, but they're not really going to change a bunch. I could, when you get into the hundreds of masks, then it's an issue, but to make things a little lighter and cleaner, you could just simply remove one because it's the same information that they both have, and then just connect both to this one, and then you only have to worry about changing this one parameter to change the size of the two dots. And that's what I ended up doing down here. So, but yeah, there are some things that you can do. That's all I really. The other thing you could do too here to make things efficient is I could take this and I could flip it, and instead of having, and this is only because I copy and paste it, but instead of having these right here, I could remove these and just use the merge and use its center position the same way that I did on the transform center position, because this image will come into here. And in the merge, you're saying how to apply the foreground to the background, and you could simply just take this center position information and put it into the merge. So then you could actually get rid of these 4 nodes as well, because there's a bunch of merges here, and all you have to do is just flip this, and we have all of the inputs right here that we could then use. So there's always going to be a ton of different ways to do it more efficiently. It's just, is it really necessary? Is it really needed? Are you really going to save that much? Looking at it the other way, I was copying and pasting this, and I put these custom inputs here. I found it more valuable to keep the custom inputs and also the whole animation thing that I had going on, and all I had to do is just change the one. So you could make the output or the processing of the Fusion comp quicker, but then the ease of use, you know, kind of becomes a little bit less. So there's always different things that you can think of. And then the other thing that I did to make things easier for me is I threw the custom tool down and I used the number in 1 so that I could change the position of, when we're actually looking at this, where everything converges. So, and that was just an ease of use thing. It doesn't make processing any faster or slower, but I could just simply come into here instead of 0.8, I could make this a 0.5. And now when we play this, it's going to be the halfway point here that everything's going to converge onto, right? Once everything gets processed. Man, my computer is chugging, and it just crashed. Beautiful. Hello. I just got done creating a thing that I'm going to be using in a tutorial explaining one of the new modifiers that was added into 17. So I just started up a stream so I could talk with you guys and then create that thing that just crashed, actually. So then I can make a tutorial on how to use that modifier and how it works, because it's something new and I didn't really want to dive into how to use it until I used it a bunch in a bunch of projects, and I recently did, so I feel pretty confident in explaining how it works. At least surface level how it works, because there's a ton of different ways that you could implement it and get it to work in your project, but at least surface level explaining how the tool works in a whole. So, but yeah, I don't think there's anything else that I wanted to show. So I have just these two, and let me clean this up so I can jump right into it. All right, let's delete that. Listen. You know, this room, earlier today, someone said that it looked like I had a green screen in here. You know, I think I'm going to stop streaming. Everyone keeps making fun of me for not having furniture in this room. Someone thought that both of my lights were skylights, that there was holes in the ceiling a couple streams ago. Listen. It's very difficult to get furniture delivered in the middle of a GoFundMe. I still don't even know how to decorate my room and like what the best option would be. I don't know. A GoFundMe. Man, people got jokes. Whatever. Yeah, they turned the logo from a circle into a square, or a rounded square. Not sure how I feel about it, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. Has anyone played around with the new shape stuff? I think it's kind of cool, even though right now in this project it's flickering for some reason. Put a picture. What would, if I put a picture on my wall, what kind of picture should I put? The only thing I have that I haven't hung on the wall yet that someone brought over. Here, let me go grab it quick. Give me 1 second. It's downstairs. Ugh. So, I'm pretty sure I can show this. I have a, downstairs, I have a, almost like a Roomba. It's the Shark IQ, and it actually ran into this, so it's kind of bent. But I'm really into, like whiskey. And dang it, man, this is kind of bent. But I was given this absinthe thing, but I don't really know where to put it because it's kind of creepy looking. I don't know if it would be very good to have in a room where we talk about DaVinci Resolve stuff, though. But yeah. So that's the only piece of artwork that I have in the house. I have a picture frame downstairs that it would fit in, but I just haven't done anything with it yet. All right, so I'm still kind of weird about like filming a tutorial on screen or like while streaming, just because I mess up a lot and I fumble my words a lot. But I will edit it on stream. But I feel like I at least have the idea down. Here, I'll actually make one thing here because I want to show off using the custom, and then also showing off the inverted and modified. So we have the current input. I want to change the current input text. I don't even know where that is. So it's right here. So current input of, let's do current input and then just take, we'll make it red, right? Current input, and then we can just take all of this, copy and paste it. We'll take this and paste that as well, but we won't really connect this up until I'm ready to talk about it. And we'll bring all of that down, and then in here, how is this written? So transform one, what is this one called? Transform underscore one. Okay, so we'll take this transform underscore one, and then this will pull the information now from the new, and we will connect all of this up, right? And what did I just change this other color to? And we can take all of that. I know me bouncing around. Whoa, why is this all like yellow? Wait, what? Oh shit, I grabbed the wrong stuff, didn't I? Wait, what? Oh, I don't need that. I just, yeah, whatever. All right, so we'll take this, boom. Take this, boom. And then we can bring this into here. And then we will also just take the blend, go, ooh, 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 ooh. Actually, let's put the blend back up, and then we can move this over to here. And we can just turn the blend down. And for now, I'm just going to make this purple, just so I remember. And also make this purple. All right. And purple. And oops. We'll connect this to here. And make this purple as well, so I just remember, and we can turn that off so we don't see any of that. All right. when I go to see output in desktop, it's not coming up. Please help in this. Are you rendering out the video on the deliver page to your desktop and then you can't see the file on your desktop? Is that what you're saying? I would double check where your file's going. All right. Okay. I think we're good. All right, so now I have both of my like little slides to show how they work. I feel like I need to now show something using it, like a use case for this. Anyone think of a use case? I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna make something. We're just gonna sit here and we're gonna make something that looks kind of cool, that is like a use case for how to use this. All right, so we're gonna use the, no, that's not what we're gonna do. All right. So we can go border, and then we can length, right? So we can do something with the length, and then also the angle. So what is something that I can do here? All right, so let's just make a bunch of these, right? And we're gonna have it all go into one thing that's going to be controlling this. I don't even know what a use case would be for this. That I can show on a tutorial that's like a short tutorial. Maybe I just show the stuff I already created and how I have no idea. Good morning. So all right, let's, oh gosh, that is not what I wanted. So we do the duration, no, custom, but then we'll pull the custom to a custom slider. So we can go, something that I was doing was like, let's say, we'll go into control and we will make a control. We'll make this control just called A, sure. And we'll take it and we'll put it onto the controls page. So it's on this page, right? Animation, boom. So now we have a new slider A. And we're going to have this input pull the information from A, right? So it's going to pull the information from A. And then we can say, okay, well, we're going to have it pull from A for this one. Let's actually delete all these. For this one, It's going to pull from the A. Okay. Is that how I want that to work? All right. Let's make another one. And this one's going to pull it from A11, right? So we don't want to do that. We just want to pull it from A. And it's always going to make another thing. So it doesn't really matter, right? So if we add all of these in here, now we have this one slider that's controlling all of these, right? So if I look at this one slider is controlling this. Now, we could always do that with expressions. So that's not where it's cool. Where it's cool is that we can go in and we can say, okay, we'll leave the first one as linear, but then we can take the second one and make the second one have an easing at the beginning that is like an elastic, and at the end it's a bounce. And then the next one, we can do a custom, sure, and we can just, you know, do some stuff like that, but they're all controlled from that one controller. So if I just start adding, actually, no, let's not just keep adding in more. Let's make these different sizes. So I'll make one a little smaller, then come into here, do the same thing with this, make this one even a little smaller. And then I can paste, and we're going to bring in another one, and we're going to make this smaller, and let's change the color on this one, right, to something else. And I'm just going to keep doing this. I actually think I'm going to use this video as the explainer for this. And then we can say, okay, we want the border on this one to be a lot smaller, right? So something like that. But we also want to go in and use just the normal easing. And for this one, hello. And for this one, we'll go into easing as well. And we'll just switch these up, picking random things. But they're all controlled. Did I do enough customization here? Why do I keep doing that? All right. They're all controlled from this one slider, right? So we're going to have a completely different look here. So if I go to like 15 and we start the animation here, and then we go to like here, and we go all the way up, and then we come back to here. And look, maybe here we go 0.5. And then we say, you know what, here we're going to go to a 1. But here's the really cool thing. So we have all these, here, let's first view this, right? So we have all these different animations. They're all doing slightly different things, but we could also go in and say, you know what, on this A, we're also going, why is this black? What the hell? Okay, with this, we can also say, you know what, we're going to use flatten, and we're going to ease those as well. So now they have a whole nother layer of animations, and these are like way too slow. So we're going to bring these in a bit. So we have stuff going all over the place, and we're just going to keep making different things. Right, sure. We'll ease those as well. Okay, that looked god awful, but hopefully it makes other thing too I really don't like about is I hate that how they're all going the same way. But instead, so you know what, we're gonna do that, and then we're also going to the other controls are in here. Let's go into shapes, and let's do a transform maybe, and then we'll bring this into here. And oh gosh, I hate that about these. Okay, that's not what I wanted at all. Nope. How would I? Haha. Now we have it going opposite ways. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Okay, that looks freaking very weird. But they're all controlled off of just this one freaking slider. So we could easily just go in and say, you know what? I want this to look. Wait, what in the world has happened now? Oh gosh. Alright, well, when I copy and pasted that, it just decided to. Do. Alright. Come in here and maybe like do a little. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. No. I don't really know what I'm doing. Oh gosh. What in the world is going on? Hello? Hello? What has happened? Something broke. What has happened? Oh no. Oh no. Did I just find a problem with this? What is making all of this? Okay, so it's not anything in there. It's in here somewhere. I'm so very confused. Oh, is that really what I did? I undid all that just because. Oh gosh. Alright. Well, this is what it looks like when I do things live. All right, well, that's how this works. And we'll put like a different color here. Hopefully this made sense to someone. Oh gosh. And it's all controlled by one little slider. But they all have different animations. That was probably the most complicated way to explain how you can use one thing. Actually, you know what would be even better than doing that? If I did like a whole bunch of bars that just look like audio bars or whatever instead of circles. I think that would made it look so much better than what I ended up doing, but whatever. Well, you can move it around slightly. So you can come up to here and you can go down to loadouts, fusion loadouts, and then you can switch it, right? So, boom. But I guess the inspector's always over here, right? But you can at least, you know, build it different ways, I guess. But yeah. And then this whole bar down here, you can like remove, that you would typically see right in the middle. This bar here, you can just hide that. Or how the hell do you hide it? I forget. I had to hit him before. Oh boy. How do I get rid of it? It's my motion graphics bar. Dang it, how did I remove it before? Somewhere in here. Aha. No, inspect. No, none of that. Oh gosh, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, I should probably do a video over all of the different things that are hidden and shown. Fusion. Oh, there we go. Toolbar. Yeah, anything with products, you gotta reach out to support. I don't really want to do that stuff here. Yeah, I still haven't jumped to pick up a chair yet. I'm super lazy. Like, obviously, I don't have anything in this room still. I just rather like make stuff and create stuff than, yeah. But I really do need to jump on getting a chair. I do need one. Although I did get a standing desk, and I was talking with people my last stream about how in the world I can attach my camera to this desk securely. I don't want to do it, you know, some janky way because it's a heavy camera. And I think I have an idea, but the only issue is that when I stand up, I don't really like how the camera looks. So I don't know what I'm going to do exactly yet. Because the way that this like light here is, and then like that light over there, I just don't like. I mean, I'll probably have to change the lights or bring in more flags. But yeah. But I definitely need to get some stuff in this room. I'm not really happy with me showing off how this works because what I just did here kind of looked complicated because I kind of fumbled with it a little bit, but it all runs off of just these keyframes here. I think if I would have done straight lines, it would have been so much better. Because then they would have been all over the place, and it would have looked a bit more dynamic than this. All right, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to redo it all quick. All right, so this is going to be an S rectangle, I believe. Right? So we'll connect that. Oh gosh, okay, let's get rid of that. That's not needed, but that other thing was. All right. All right, so now we got this, and we go make it small. And we'll go down to 0. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, because that's size. I don't want size, I want position. Oh, wait. Oh, what the heck? All right. Here is one thing that I wish you could do with Fusion Tools. I wish I could make an array and give a different variable for each of the things. So I can make a bunch of these, right? But if I was to make, I forget all the tools that are in here. Shape. Let's see here. There's nothing here that I'd be able to use. What is jitter? Dang it. Get out of here. What does this do? Wait a second. What the hell does this do? I'm kind of confused. I don't know what this does. Okay. I see. Jitter random fixed. What does fixed do? All right, we're getting out of side scope here. So, I'm gonna close that. Size doesn't matter, or color doesn't matter. Let's put this back down. Sure. And then what are we going to be changing? The height? No. Yeah, the height. Okay. And so all right, so how much does this have to come over? Alrighty. Are these all still going to the right thing? Yes, they are. Alright, so All right, so then we come over here, times 2. 3, 4, times 5, times 6, 7, times 8, times 9, times 10. All right, so now if we look at this, all right, so now we have this little thing, right? And then we can easily come like here, and we can go like a 1, 2, 7, all right, so changing that one thing, now we have a sort of okay looking thing here. Oh God, what happened? But we can get all these different animations. I think that's probably the easier way to explain this. All these different animations from this one thing. But to make this even easier, we don't even have to add keyframes. So we can say fuck keyframes. We can come in here and we can go to like turb and then wobble like a 6. And now if we play it, look at that. Okay, that looks freaking crazy. All right, maybe we don't want to do that. Maybe let's go into a shake instead. All right, so we can do like a 0.4 and a 0.7. And now if we play this, oh, because it went down to the bottom. I see. We can make this like a 0.3. Okay, that's a little too crazy. A little too crazy. What the hell? Why is a 0.7? Oh, 7. But just drastically different keyframes, which is kind of cool. And then you could take this whole thing and you could copy it. And you could paste it, right? And now they'll all be linked to one another. You can go like that. And then from here, we can go an S transform so that we can, I don't even know how to use this, but so we can come like over here. And then in this one, we can just change the seed. And then we could do it again. Copy, paste. And drag it into there. Times 2. Come into here, just change the seed. Okay, they're looking kind of crazy. You can tell it's starting to chug a little bit. My 10 frames a second. But here's the real question. If we take a look at this. See, these are supposed to make things faster. But my question is, why isn't it that fast? Because it's all just... This is the only frame that is doing any type of pixel information. Is it just that much math going on all over the place? No. It's not even caching this. We would probably have to go out to this to start to cache. See what happens when it caches. Yeah, I suck at trying to explain stuff. Because the more and more I sit here and I think about this, I'm like, this is probably a terrible way to explain how this works. What is going on? But yeah, I mean, that's how it works. Alright, well, I made circles and I made lines. I can't think of anything else to do that's simple to explain how there's multiple different animations. But yeah, well, I think I have everything that I need now to make all of these. Does anything else stand out or stick out that I still need to explain a little bit? I'm still not entirely sure. I think it kind of explains how that modifier works. I don't know. I think that's it. I need to come up with more ideas on explaining how to use cases and stuff. I don't know. This came out good though. If anything, it's probably the only thing that came out good that I like. For this, I would probably come into here then, and then get like out of this like a TV, and then I would take all this and go down to 0, and increase this. And now when you look at it, it's like little bars, although that kind of still looks like shit. So what we'll do is, coming out of that, we'll go into a background. No. A background, and we'll take this into here. And then we will go, okay, well, I guess alpha would be fine. Boom. Yeah, we'll make this white. Oh, maybe these are just that small. Oh, I see. I think I see. Alright, so this is what we'll do instead of that. Get another background. Then we get a bitmap. And we'll go into here. And then into here. Then we got a bitmap. Then we invert the bitmap. Then we bring this in. And we get another bitmap. Because then we go into here, and then into here, and then into here. Does that make sense? Everyone following along? Great. Alright, well, I screwed something up here. Because that shouldn't look like that. Alright, well. So, how am I? Alright, so we have our line, right? That comes into here. We don't want this to be inverted. We want to go like that. And then we want to multiply. Hey, there we go. Now we have our little things. Right? Yeah. There we go. And if we want it to look really cool, like a lot of those music things look like, we could go gradient. Oh god, I don't know what colors that they do. Let's go look over here. Oh gosh, I have to play something with music. Damn it. I think it's red at the top and green at the bottom and yellow like right in there. Alright, so we'll go and create that quick. So we'll put another one right there, and this is going to be a yellow and a red and a green. But the green's going to come way up like that. All right. So then you just move these like this. Come here. There we go. Look at that. I know exactly what I'm doing. Look at that. Perfect. It's chugging a little bit, but perfect. All right. Well, I think I'm done. I think that's a good way to represent it. Something like that. But I feel like instead of doing all of that, I think whatever. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to go film now the video on how this works. Maybe I'll come up with a better idea on how to explain it, because I kind of can't think of something else that's a better way to explain this modifier, although it's really good. Actually, you know what? I want to look at one thing quick while I can. All right, sure. I want to see what the duration, use the duration of the clip. Transfers automatically select the comment created the edit page effect. The duration is updated on the edit page. The timing of the animation is updated using comp. I don't understand what the difference between these two are, because anytime that you change the effect, no. Anytime you change, maybe it's because I do it a little differently on mine, but anytime that you change, I'm pretty sure, anytime you change the transition on the edit page, it changes the duration of the comp. So I don't understand what the difference between these two are. Settings that are automatically selected when the comp is created. And effect, this duration is updated on the edit page. Timing of the animation updated as well. Using this is when the comp is created from a clip on the edit page. I feel like both of these are the same. I truly do. Unless something just doesn't make sense to me. Because you can, I think they just do different, maybe a different call. I don't know. Because you can just do comp.end something or another. I forget exactly what it's called. Comp-global out, maybe? I think global out is global out. I forget. But I think that you can do it that way. All right. And the custom is the one that I always use. Yeah. We understand all of that. Mirroring, invert it, get that. Oh, you know what? Yeah, whatever. I was going to say I could come into here and just change a couple of these to be like inverted. Or no, not inverted. Mirror. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I don't care that much. Okay. I think I kind of wrapped my head around it. Oh. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to go film this now. think that's it for the stream. Unless anyone has any last questions before I get out of here, I am going to get out of here. If not, no questions? Alrighty then, I am getting out of here. Thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully I'll have this video up sometime this week. Once I'm done filming it, I'll probably create another stream while I'm editing it. But yeah, that's kind of it. With that being said, everyone, stay safe. It's almost the end of the year. We can finally, say goodbye to 2020 since it's been such a struggle for all of us. But with that being said, stay safe, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.